Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a high-level TVT best of 3 between uThermal here in the top left as our blue Terran player, and in the bottom right as our green Terran we have a CuKu. This is from one of the recent tournaments that was played. I don't actually know what tournament, I just know I got this replays recommended to me. I was like, alright, let's see if we can cast them. And here we are. Double gas opener coming out of both players. So we have... yeah, fairly standard TVT stuff, right? Most of the time you see double gas into factory play, and then from there on out, whatever you can or whatever you can do tends to be the follow-up. CuKu pretty decent. I think 5'8", 5'9" on the ladder. uThermal, well, it's hard to say because I haven't seen him play a real opener in a while, but usually used to float around 6'4", 6'5". I think mechanically is going to be somewhere around that level, depending on what strategies he picks. That can float, of course, a bit higher, a bit lower. So we'll have to wait and see. Double factories will get created here. As uThermal went for an SCV scout and seems to be going for a proxy starport. So might be something like proxy BC or proxy banshees from this point on out. Always used to be a fan of proxying in general. Maybe just a delayed scout is also possible. Ooh, reactor after the first Reaper. That's interesting. That's actually fairly interesting. These two Reapers are going to meet in the middle. uThermal poked up that ramp. Not sure if he saw that Reaper and now he's just going to go back home to try and defend this ramp. Is a real possibility. Good movement here out of uThermal. It's almost going to get caught. I think the movement kind of shows that there's no second Reaper waiting. So yeah, CuKu as a result is actually going to jump in here and is going to spot that it was a reactor after the first Reaper. And it's going to try and fight this Reaper. Might actually get the kill here. Hellion still kind of far away from finishing. But the Reaper will leave for now. Oh! Ah, okay. I see. This is going to be a, I think a planetary rush. I've seen this out of uThermal before. He's gonna get an EV with this. And then I guess the general plan is to play something like Mass Reaper, Hellion, maybe get a medevac out, land the CC in here, and then start morphing it into a planetary. Just, I'd say near the production is probably the perfect way to go about it. There's no natural yet here for uThermal, who's now going to start to try and take out this Hellion. One Reaper is perhaps in trouble because Hellions are faster than Reapers, and this is a chase that I think the Hellion definitely can win. Mine is out on the map already. Okay, here we go. eBay's coming down at this point. This is a nice build order, by the way. Very well thought out. I do like that. Orbital command coming down in the natural. And we have a refinery as well over here. Is he actually gonna drop it in the net? I don't think that's viable, is it? SCV in there as well. And here we go. Maybe the SCV to pop the mine. If he drops the SCV to pop the mine, that would be the highest tier play I've seen in my life. Okay, well, that's not happening. Still a high tier play. Command center actually blocking a little bit of the vision here. It's going to build a planetary in the natural rather than in the main. That's... it's a good time for a question mark, I think. Very nice. Very nice indeed. So we have these Reapers moving in right now. 4 Reapers, 2 Hellions. Just gonna hopefully right-click this. No, he won't. Not sure if this planetary is gonna finish. Wish there was some SCVs that are being sent here. Although, I'm not sure what the actual value of having a planetary in your opponent's natural is going to be right at this moment. Feels like that value is pretty much gone. Like, I feel like in the main it has more of a purpose. I could be wrong about that. Yeah, this seems completely fine for CuKu. It's a nice gimmick, but yeah, this not quite work. Planetary gets exploded, and we're now heading into a game in which, well, uThermal is just very far behind. Very, very far behind. There's already one starport unit out that can actually deal damage in the Banshee. Sure, uThermal has a medevac, but the Cyclone will deal with that. Third CC on the way as about the same time as the natural here. For our Dutch Terran player. This is not looking brilliant. Not at all. As this SCV now repairs the medevac. It's gonna go for another drop here with that medevac. Not so sure if it's going to work out. Refinery in the natural. Orbital starting up as well. And it's just, you're so far down in workers already. You still got to make the orbital. You're mining less gas at this point. Banshee makes its way across the map. If it's microed even semi-correctly here, I think you're going to get, well, basically every single Marine. 6 Marines. Not that much of a match for the Banshee majority of the time. Reaper comes in as well. Turret in the main. There's 3 tanks out. And the moment that CuKu decides that this game is over, I think the game will actually end as well. It's fairly unlikely at this point that he's going to be capable of losing this one. I wonder if the better play isn't to float in towards the main base. I'm thinking about it. Like, even if you get the planetary in the natural, the moment tanks are out, you don't have your own tanks. So it's just going to get shot at and eventually it will die. Orbital can lift, of course. So unless you're fighting actively with the production, it feels like there's no real point in planetary rushing the natural. But I could be wrong about that. Maybe there's... I don't think any high-level Terran will get baited into that, will they? Ooh. This is in range. Look at... This is not an okay range. Cyclones are so ridiculous. I don't enjoy that at all. Don't enjoy that at all. Blech. Banshee still idling. I can't believe that was in range of the Cyclone. That's actually ridiculous. That's just stupid, isn't it? The range of that unit is mental. Completely unfair. That should be nerfed. ×2. Alright. We're gonna have Vikings popped out. Ooh, double starport as a follow-up. That I do like. There's going to be air... Kind of semi-air Terran here. Get a big scan out of CuKu. And probably means that CuKu is going to be pretty happy with this. Sees all of this, says, hey, wait a second, buddy. What's kicking off over here? 4 Ravens, though, for uThermal. Couple of Reapers jumping in towards the natural, maybe. I said maybe. Ooh. Reapers actually dealing way more damage than they should. uThermal, not a lot of people, or maybe not a lot of people. Some people should know this, but I'm not sure how many do. But uThermal had some of the greatest 3-Rex Reaper micro back in 2016. Won a tournament based on that. Almost won a second tournament as well. It's, I think, replacements for both tournaments. Very impressive. It was insane with the 3-Rex Reaper. I remember him just destroying Serral with it as well back then in 2016 at the... I want to say it was DreamHack Montreal. So the control there was good, and those 4 Reapers actually kind of saved him because his opponent was moving out. Now there is a massive air army here. It's going to be 4 Ravens, a bunch of Vikings out, and practically a 2 base all in with a 3rd CC behind it. But Stim is already done. 1-1 is going to be done. Combat Shield not on the way quite yet. These 2 armies are going to miss each other. No, gonna siege up right now. Can we get a siege up? Can we get a siege up? Nah, not really. Tanks in the far back. Feels like CuKu might be in a little bit of trouble. This air army looks really scary. There's no Stim though, so a counterattack could do wonders here. There's a lot of tanks as well. 3, 4 turrets being thrown down. Interference matrix is coming in a little bit slow. A little bit late. Cyclone comes back home. We'll take out 1 tank here, I think. Yep, there we go. As these tanks all get blasted. But the Marines make their way across the map as well with the 1-1 upgrades. Means that this CC is going to get taken out. Are there any tanks at home? There's still 1 tank at home. Are there any interference matrices? The answer to that is a loud and resounding no. And this now... Whoop, don't want to go in here, buddy. It's now going to be a 2-base versus a 3-base, in which uThermal's 2nd base is still in the main. CuKu ahead in basically everything except in air units. Continues building medevacs, which doesn't really help his air inferiority. But I guess at some point you just gotta give up. You gotta just give up trying to beat your opponent in the air. And that's what he's doing here. This is such a small army. I think you can just stim in here and kill it, no? Unsiege and go, yeah. That's indeed what he's gonna do. Vikings will need to be landed here. Turrets need to be thrown down. Here comes the Viking land. Stim Marines with 1-1 though. They pack a punch. GG, well played. As CuKu wins game number 1. I know that most of the time when uThermal does one thing once, he's gonna do it again. So I'm... I'm mentally prepared this time, alright? I had a feeling it was going to be something memey. Because it's very rare I get TVTs recommended. It's extremely rare that TVTs get recommended to me. So I knew something weird was going to happen here. Good old Mark J. Yeah, I just would love to see like a planetary or a command center maybe somewhere over here and then fly, or man, maybe this is the command center position. You fly it into the main, bam, go in, drill the factory down. And I mean, theoretically, if you're on top of the production, you're probably forcing an SCV pool at that point. And you have a lot of Reapers, you have a lot of Hellions. Like, it is not a bad build, like just the Reaper Hellion by itself. And the planetary does add an extra element. It makes it a lot more all-in, but it also makes it slightly more powerful, because if the planetary finishes on top of production, there should be game. Now, another thing we need to keep in mind is that if a player is good, you can just block the planetary, right? There are tools to, to kind of deal with it. And one of these tools is just putting an SCV underneath it and being fine. Although this time around, there's not even an... Oh, no, wait, there's an SCV on the map. Once again, going towards the bottom side location. So, seems like he's aiming for the natural, if he's going to do the same thing again. Reaper instead of Reaper Reactor this time around. So, slightly different opener, but I think the idea is going to be similar here. You want to have a very big focus on Reaper Hellion. Reaper goes in. He's going to get a cancel on the CC at least. Second Reaper will pop out here for uThermal. An SCV for an SCV? No. An SCV and a Reaper for nothing. That's a bad trade for CuKu. Because he killed nothing and he lost two things. Ay. Yeah, that is pain. That is actual pain. Because right now you're going to need to continue building Reapers from here as well. CC indeed going down near that natural location. Oh, it's going to be a Cyclone. So Reaper into Cyclone rather than anything else. Okay, I guess he has a couple of variations through which he just cycles. Oh, that's not going to hit anything. That one might hit something. That's good. Can clear this. Man, that was some tight control there. Needs to be careful, though, to not lose this Reaper to the reinforcements. Nice micro. Really nice micro. CC goes up 52 out of 71. This Cyclone starts being sent across the map as well. eBay on the way. This command center can only start floating at this point. Third gas coming in. In the moment CuKu sees the lack of a natural, I think he's gonna know what's kicking off here. Cyclone's actually slightly more influential in this game than it would have been in the last game, I think, because there's no mine. Uh-oh, Reaper will die, but Cyclone pops out. That's a big deal. That means one Reaper will die. Good control immediately on that Cyclone. Running past the Reapers to make sure they can't escape. That's going to net him 2 Reapers immediately. This Hellion's also going to be in trouble as a base gets built at home right now. And this is going to be a planetary. This is more of a planetary contain, really. Go in the main. You can do it. I believe in you. Come on. In the main we go, my friend. Could you just, as a response, get your own planetary? Might be worth it, no? I guess this is a pretty powerful container. It has 1500 HP. You're gonna need at least a tank. I'm not so sure if it's worth it. Third CC on the way immediately. Can you go in with the Cyclone? I wonder if you can just lock onto it and then piss off. Seems difficult. Oh, here we go. Not good control. Not good control out of CuKu. It's gonna perhaps lose the Raven even. Oh. Cyclone almost goes down. Ends up being fine here. Tank on the way. Can move to the very edge of this and start shooting. But then you have the risk of the Cyclones popping in and starting to deal damage as well. He's aware of it. I'm surprised he's just going down here. Seems like somewhat of an error, at least. Yeah, that's a CC, mate. Like, what do you think was going to happen? Poof. Poof. SCV to repair. This is significant time, but let's clock in to see how long this actually takes to break. Because we have 5:30, 5:25. CuKu wanted to take it. Felt comfortable moving down. Oh, what? Interference matrix? Necessity? Yes, sir. What? No! Interference would have done the job. Now you lose the tank. That's a huge error there. Loses the Raven as well. Oh, no. Oh, this is going to be a very long contain, isn't it? Is this only the second tank? This is only the second tank. There's no extra tank out yet. Ay, 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 ay. The planetary contain actually working. You hate to see it as a CuKu fan. Right now, I know exactly what CuKu is feeling as well. He's starting to sweat. You know, his body temperature is rising because he's a little bit embarrassed that this worked. He's also frustrated, and he still believes he can get out of it. But shouldn't forget that uThermal is actually a very good player as well. But like, if he gets in a better position than you, he's probably gonna win. He knows how to win games. Double gas already. Follows up with double factory cyclone. Third base already done. Do we still have SCVs? No. No SCVs repairing anymore. Well, the delay here in the natural was absolutely invaluable. This planetary is still going strong as well. Triple cyclones. Could you clear something here, maybe? Ooh, goes for the tank. That's in range still. That's in range. It's gonna take the tank. Life isn't fair. It's gonna go for another tank here. Might even get it. It's gonna get it. Oh no. It's time to leave. Yeah, G gets called. Just a single G here. uThermal wins the second game and ties up the score 1-1. Game number 3 between uThermal and CuKu. And once again, we have... if CuKu is smart, which I think he is, he really should just be looking for the CC, I think. Like, it is blatantly obvious to me that there's going to be a CC somewhere. It should be blatantly obvious to him as well. Because that's why uThermal always sends the first Reaper across the map with such urgency. And just kind of to distract the opponent's Reaper in a way. Both players get the CC at approximately the same time. Okay, it's going to be the Cyclone build once more. Both players actually opening with a Cyclone build. And this SCV is going into Scout. And now you know everything. If you're CuKu, you know all that you need to know. And what you need to know is that your opponent is planetary rushing you again. The first time, you know, it might just be a joke. Second time, a coincidence. But the third time, there's going to be a pattern. And you can definitely prepare for this. Having a bunker on the low ground, for example, would be a huge deterrent to this build order. Having a tank ready would also be a huge deterrent. Having a Cyclone would be a huge deterrent. Well, this SCV dying is annoying, but not the end of the world. New SCV can move forward. Good Reaper control out of uThermal. Third Reaper is on the way, as well as a Cyclone for him. And the starport is popping out. Yeah, but I think the bunker is a perfect call. Honestly, even in a regular game, if you don't know you're being proxied and you don't see a CC out of your opponent, I think a bunker is a completely reasonable thing to build here. But as this is a tournament, I think blind countering is completely fair. I really do believe it is completely fair. Oh, here we go, here we go, here we go. Whoop, goes in. Okay, good luck, I guess. I don't really see how this is ever going to land. I mean, if you put a Cyclone in position, that's it, no? Maybe it's gonna go to the main base, though. That would be sick. Yeah. I'm having a difficult time seeing this land. Okay, it's gonna jump in. SCV's coming in to block. Oh, Cyclone trying to block. Actually finishes, though. That's really silly. CZ gets pushed away. It's never gonna finish up, not like this. Tank already done as well. Bunker's going to get taken out a little bit. Gets attacked a fair chunk here. His Marine almost dies. Not quite. What is the plan now? This Reapers moved across the map and actually cleared an SCV. CuKu in a fantastic position. Fairly far ahead. Command center tries to go into the main, maybe scout or go for a landing. It's hard to say. There used to be a French Terran player called Daishi that would consistently build a barracks close by someone else's base to use it for scouting. Instead, a barracks was cheaper than a mule is. Thus, it makes a lot of sense to just use a barracks rather than having to scan every single game to figure out what your opponent's tech is. But then once Terrans realized that they can also just use a Reaper to scout the tech, that obviously was an even better solution. Reaper keeps the Protoss honest and, you know, also is a little bit cheaper than 150 minerals and an SCV that needs to build it for, what is it, 36 seconds? How long does a barracks take actually to build? I don't even know. 46 maybe? I know when it finishes, but I don't actually know when it starts. God, that's pathetic. I hope he's going to build another barracks, or someone's going to build a barracks, so I can actually click it and see. Gateway is 46 seconds. Cybercore, 36. Barracks, I feel like it would be 46 as well. I also don't know how long a spawning pool takes. I know when they're supposed to finish, and when, you know, when something is wrong, but I don't actually know the complete timings. Pro gamers in general know very little about the game. You'd be surprised. Or at least their knowledge isn't as direct. What is it? 46? Okay, it was 46 seconds. Yeah, so the exact same as a gateway. Raven making its way across the map. I'm actually surprised how not far behind uThermal is right now. Worker count only down 5, despite him being an entire command center behind. That is just flying here as a big fat spotter. Raven gets blasted as well. I guess the main advantage here is in tank count against 5 Cyclones. Thermal followed up with double factory. Has 4 command centers out technically. Could have built a third. You know, could have built a planetary over here perhaps. Didn't go for it. Does he also get the upgrade for it? Like the armor or the range? That'd be pretty sick. You have the eBay anyway, you might as well, no? Follow-up is going to be mech. He's some type of mech, it seems like. Here comes the scout. Tries to land in his opponent's base, but it's just not gonna work. Cyclones are, I think some of them died there. Here we go. It's gonna morph this into a planetary now. 36 seconds is a long, long time. If this works, I'll actually eat a shoe. Because there's no way this works. Yeah. If there's no repair on command centers, they actually die fairly fast. People underestimate this, because usually whenever there's a command center, it's being repaired by SCPs. But without repair, 36 seconds is way too long here. And this planetary is indeed going to end up dying. Supply, though, almost in favor of uThermal. Worker count in favor of uThermal, so he's actually ahead in certain ways. He's going to be down in technically upgrades, I guess, because Stim is an upgrade, but there's no +1 either. This is maybe playable. I mean, he's outmining his opponent right now. He is fairly supply blocked. He's going to stay supply blocked. That's really bad. This supply block is hurting like a madman because he can't produce Vikings at the moment. Oh no, that's so bad. Had to drop some supply, I think, somewhere. Yeah, here's a supply drop. Needs another supply drop basically immediately. Lots of SCVs being queued up. I think this position would have been... It still probably is playable. It would have been more playable if it wasn't for this 1 minute long supply block. It's kind of weird. I really feel like it shouldn't be this close. Double drops heading in towards the main. Yeah, there's no Vikings right now ready for it. Otherwise there would have been. Maybe even 4 Vikings would have been ready already. Turrets are going to get taken out. The Reaper tries to make its way into the main base here. Pop the Vikings. And this command center in a little bit. Well, maybe more than just a little bit. In quite a bit of trouble here. Right click on that OC. He's not quite going to get it. Turrets will get taken out. And actually, uThermal holds. 48 workers to 60. This is fine. He is in a winning spot, maybe? Is he? 1 tank in the main. Oh my god, this is not as... His landing is taking a while. Holy crap. I wonder how fast the moon landing was. Like the original one. Did it take as long as this orbital or was it faster? I never actually watched that footage. Does it take like hours or... You know, for the thing to land, to go slow and then go down onto the floor and the guy getting out? Kind of want to see that. That's what I'm going to do after this. Watch that video. Ooh, this is 2 interference matrices. This is combat shield, but no upgrades. Is 2 interference matrices enough to blast this? CuKu thinks so. I think so, maybe? I'm not sure actually. It's 5 tanks still. Yes, kind of breaking through. Takes out 1 more tank. 4 tanks remaining. For both players. There's also Marauders here. Still has the Viking drop available though. Oh, there we go. Good lord. That's a single tank. Hello? Yeah, I guess it's just gonna kill that. Now you're kind of cut off from your own main base. More tanks need to move in position there. Here comes a drop on top of these bad boys. Unsiege. As uThermal does not want to lose these 2 splash damage. This one not in range of that tank. Wow, I really thought that was in range, actually. I actually think that CuKu just done it. He has done it. This was very close, though. uThermal was like a millimeter away from holding there. If those 2 extra tanks would have shown up like 5 seconds faster, maybe if he would have landed the Vikings in that fight. Maybe he landed the Vikings in the fight and I didn't see it, I can't remember. But there's a lot of things here that could have gone his way. And despite the poor early game, he still manages to come back, showcasing that he is indeed a fantastic player. And despite bad early games, can still make things work. Viking here to spot. Liberator in position as well. Here comes the SCV pool. And I think these tanks are just going to be in a little bit of trouble. Yeah. Vikings the only thing that remains, as well as a single tank. 4 tanks. Wait, where are all 4 tanks? Oh, all in the main basically. One over here, but gets taken out. Liberator comes in, tries to defend, but it's not going to be good enough here. 38 workers to 57. The Planetary Rush could not win the series, but it got darn close. Second game actually being useful. Third game being more of a distraction, just like in the first. Showing that despite poor openings, anything is possible. Liberator is actually dealing so much damage, holy crap. The Liberator is the highest DPS unit in the game, the highest damage per second out of any unit. There's no unit that deals more damage than this one. Ooh, maybe a tiny little one of these. Right click, yep, the Marine, there we go. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff indeed. That Liberator had a lot of kills on it. But sadly, there's just no SCVs left. Hellions, tanks and Vikings is going to be it. And uThermal wants to break free. I'm not sure if he can. He wants to break free. No, didn't work. Alright, CuKu wins the series 2-1. I mean, it's over. CuKu is up 50 supply. He's getting 2-2, a 4th base. But they're staying in the game. Enjoyable. At this point, yeah, it is just fairly over. Oh, there comes a drop on top of these tanks. Vikings out of position, just ever so slightly. GG, well played. CuKu wins the series 2-1, as mentioned before. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Bye bye.